Hi and welcome to Another Gamers. The game today we're going to look at is Slydris. This game is by Radian Games and this is part of the Indie Royale Spring Bundle. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is just quickly show you through the graphic settings. Now you've got the usual option of windowed mode or full screen, and also some graphical options, bloom or non-bloom, which adds lighting effects to the events that's going on in the game. And also you've got the options to change the screen size of the main game. Okay, now as I've got everything set up how I want, we're going to start up with the main game. The game itself has three game modes: Infinite, Survival and Zen Mode. But before we have a look at those, we're going to take a quick look at the options menu. Now the option menu is fairly limited. All it has is simple toggle options for the sound and music effects. So if I switch this on, as you can hear, the music volume is quite loud, so you'd have to use your system settings in order to change the sound volume. There's no way of changing it in the middle of the game. And there's also options for the sound effects. Again, quite loud, no options to change them. And you've got other little options such as V-syncing for colorblind people, so you can tell the difference with the colors, and the credits, as well as a few other bits and pieces here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with Zen Mode. This game mode is a little bit slower, so you can take a look and see how the actual game performs. And I had a little game in progress, but I'm just going to start a game from scratch so you can see things. Now, the basic premise of the game is you have these blocks, and you're able to grab hold of them and slide them from position to position. Now, in Zen mode, you get to, each time you make a move, blocks fall down, so you have to think carefully about your every single move. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to grab this and drag it and slide it into this slot. Now that causes the next line of blocks to fall down. Now you see here, this block is going to fall down here, so that's going to complete this section here. Now if I move this over here, this causes this block to fall down, and then we'll get a complete line, just much like Tetris, and that will cause it to disappear. Now in this section we can see the blocks that we've got and where everything currently is positioned. Now you get bonuses if you can make lines of all the same color, but at the moment we're not going to be able to achieve that. So what we're trying to do is trying to find the best position for everything that we've got at the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to drag that along and try and make a full line just along here. Now as you can see, the block's going to fall down along here, and there's not much we can actually do right now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move a little block and just let things happen. Now, as you can see, we've got a few more ways that we can make some lines. Now, unfortunately, you see this one, this is a different colored block. And this type of block we're unable to move. We have to work around it. So, unfortunately, at the moment, there's not much we can actually do. So we can try and build around it and hopefully try and create a full line here at some point and then get rid of it that way. In order to do that, we need to complete a line above us. But what we'll do is just prep everything so as soon as we can, we'll be able to complete it without any problems. So we'll just move some of these positions, and as you can see, now we've got a little bit further into the game, we're getting the option of growth. Now what I'll do is just have this move to show you what growth is. When you do that, growth is the creation of blocks coming up from the bottom of the screen. Now in this case it was actually useful because it created a block in this gap which allowed us to finish off that bottom line. So it drops all it down by one. But at the moment we're still struggling to try and complete some of these earlier lines. So what we'll do, just go through, have a couple of quick turns and see what we can get out of the way. Now, as you can see, slowly building up some of these lines, and unfortunately because of the way that things are dropping, it's not always the easiest to get them. So we're going to have to work a little bit harder here in order to do it. Now that was a good example of a series of lines going in sequence, and it gives you a ×3 multiplier. Now if you can get combinations of lines all in sequence, then it can score you a good number of points. Now what we're going to do is just going to play this for a little bit longer, and then we'll go take another look at some of the other game modes. As you can see, this game just continues on in this process until you either win or lose. Okay. quit out of this. What we're going to do is look at the infinite mode now. I'm going to start again from scratch. As you can see, it's very much the same. You get to think about your move before anything happens, but in this one, it's split up into levels. Now, as the level increases, the difficulty increases. So it can take a little while because you've got to clear out a good number of lines. So as you can see at the moment, I'm just trying to set it all up so we can get a number of these lines out. There we go, we've got a good combination going on there, so we scored a good number of points. And all this is at the moment is just slowly about setting up all the lines in preparation so we can have a big run. And there you go, we got a colour match there and a 4x combo. And that gave us a good healthy amount of score there all in one go. And we're almost at the next level, so we'll just quickly go through this and get into the next level. As you can see, to get to the next level we need to complete another 10 lines, and then that'll take us to the next stage. So we'll just go through, and what I'll do is I'll cut back to this in a few moments after I've gone to some of the later stages. Right, and here we go. We've just made it to next level. As you can see, one of the slight differences in this case, it's changed colour. Now, one of the bits will start happening is you'll start getting some increased difficulty happening, but when things are starting to get quite difficult, so we need to get rid of some of these lines. So what we're going to do is going to use our little 3-row bomb sequence here and just get rid of that to help us keep in the game. And as you can see, this is the first one on the second level where one of those immovable blocks has just appeared. So whilst the game is not difficult to begin with, it slowly ramps up the difficulty as you go along in the game. And this just proceeds to continue throughout each of the levels, each getting slightly tougher than the one before. So okay, that's the infinite mode for now, and what we'll do is show you the last mode now. Now the survival mode is slightly different. As you can see, down the edges, you got these blocks, and as you can see, I've made my first movement, but no blocks dropped immediately. That's because what you need to do is, before you get additional blocks, the timer needs to run out. And when the timer runs out, all these blocks start to form. As you can see, now we can make as many movements as we want within that time period, and try and clear out as many of the lines. And this is what the survival mode is all about. As you can see, we've got some different blocks in this one, and we can move that coloured block, and that allowed us, when we got rid of that one, to destroy some other blocks simultaneously. Now, as you can see, things can pile up quite quickly, so in the survival mode it's all about speed, so you need to try and design your layout so you can go through things quickly and easily and without too much trouble, and to take advantage of the next lines that drop, because if you can help them complete a line, then it's going to be quite handy. However, you don't get to know in advance what types of blocks or where these blocks are going to form, so you have to try and work around that. Now, as you can see, we made it to the next level, so it's gone through its color changing sequence. Oh, there we go. We managed to get it down quite a long way. And there we go, we managed to complete a line through one of the drops by leaving that gap all the way through. And that's something, when trying to do well in this particular level, you should try and look at. Okay. Overall, this game is quite interesting to play, At the normal full price, I'm not sure it would be the best investment of your money, but certainly within the Indie Bundle, it's definitely worth trying to take a look at, and definitely something which you spend some time on. This has been Slydris. I hope you've enjoyed. More details about the game and the Indie Bundle will be at the bottom in the description. I hope you've enjoyed. See you next time.